50 million views. You're listening to the Joe Cronin Show.
The Joe Cronin Show.
I hope you hang your mother. This country sucks. This place sucks. CNN masturbated all fucking day. Dude, I will eat your fucking asshole and then spit it in your mouth, baby bird style. To go, call the show. I will fuck your ass. I want to kill myself. If I think it sucks, I tell you.
The Joe Cronin Show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to 2019 TLC. What in the fuck did we just watch? Wow. Well, this was one of those nights where we really hoped well, as many of you guys know who listened to the Corrupted podcast last night, you guys are aware that I have a gigantic, cut, sore under my tongue. And so, therefore, I've been talking a little bit slower. But also talking a little bit weird. So, if I sound funny in this review, that's what it is. It's nothing else but that. And tonight, I'll tell you what, if this didn't hurt me so bad, I'd be screaming right now. I gotta tell you right now, I am fully ready to just explode out of my fucking body into the goddamn atmosphere. But then again, what did you expect with a show that had really almost no build at all anyway? And you got fucking bullshit. This show took a fucking full-on AIDS nosedive right after the first couple matches or so. It really, really just started going downhill, man. It started going to shit. It is so fucking hard to talk right now. I'm telling you guys, it is very hard to talk. I have this giant thing on my tongue, in my tongue. It's like a huge canker sore. I'm not tired. I'm a little bit tired from the pay-per-view, yeah, but normally, I'm telling you right now, normally I'd be flipping out right now. I'd be raging. But it hurts to talk, so I can't really do that. Although I want to. Why the fuck are the women going on last again when you know how bad it was the last time? That just bewildered me. Like, what was it? Why were they on last? And then why did Vince feel the need to send the entire locker room out to end the show? Like in some kind of weird fake hype, fake chaotic ending to TLC like it was Monday Night Raw? What the hell was that? It's so fucking weird. I don't understand that part of it at all. There's a lot of things I don't understand. There's a lot I'm probably never going to understand. Probably never going to know. Probably never going to figure it out. And probably all kinds of other bullshit. I got to tell you, though, man. And fucking Jake's here, too, by the way. But I got to tell you, I'm looking at the numbers right now. I think a lot of people skipped this pay-per-view or fell asleep. Because I was looking at my Twitter activity tonight, and my Twitter activity was one of the lowest Twitter activities ever, or at least in the last 4 years. Since there was one point where I had 36,000 Twitter followers back on my old Twitter before I said MTV hates white people. But yeah, man, like it was the Twitter activity is down. There's like nobody talking. I mean, there's people talking, there's people whatever, but it's nowhere near the normal Twitter activity. I think nobody was watching this. I think people fell asleep. I think some people don't even realize the pay-per-view is over. I think there's even people who went away to do something and came back and they're realizing the goddamn pay-per-view's over. Because normally you would see about, 1,300 to 1,400 people in here for a pay-per-view review, like right from the beginning. 7:15 watching. I don't think that's me. I mean, sure, we lose some audience. I think it's people are asleep right now. And I think it's people.
So many people said they were just walking away.
Yeah.
There's once the match for the main event, which was a piss poor excuse for a TLC match. That was horrendous. I have 7 different people that tweeted me saying, "I'm done. I'm walking away. I can't do it. I'm going to bed. I'm changing the channel." I mean, Flosser said it. I fell asleep. It was time and time again. I saw Bryan mention it. Kratos. Everybody was like, "I'm just done." The throwing the chairs at each other, everything felt, just to use from Tommy, lackluster. I guess there's a bad echo, Joe.
Oh,
on my end.
My bad. Okay, I fixed the echo.
Thank you, Chad.
I think
How drunk do you sound? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
cold sores suck.
I have this giant lump under my tongue that hurts. Like
I should have wrapped it up. I really should have. I'm so sorry.
It's under my tongue, man. It is so bad. I feel like I'm talking while my tongue's in the way. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Fucking awful. That's such a pain to deal with, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, it hurt. I mean, if you listen to Corrupted last night, I mean, I added a third guy. I added Dummy. I mean, by the way, I thought Corrupted was one of my favorite episodes last night. Go listen to that if you haven't heard it on Patreon. But it was Dummy, me, and JB and Drew, and I added one because I knew I wasn't going to be able to talk a lot, because my whatever. But it wasn't that bad actually. But it's actually worse today. So, but anyway, yeah. So I did not get my wisdom teeth out.
No, I gave you the super herps. I should have wrapped it up. I'm so sorry. I forget when I had those flare-ups.
Some girl I ate out back when I was 17 or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but no, it's I don't even have wisdom teeth. I never got them.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I mean that I know of. I mean, okay, so let's start from the beginning because I have to rewind back to when this pay-per-view started. Okay, first of all,
pay-per-view started really good.
Go to Andrade and Humberto or whatever, even them.
Well, I missed the pre-show, so for me, I was right into the pay-per-view itself. Usually I catch it all. Today's been hectic, and I saw the recap of Andrade and Humberto. It just kind of seemed like
it was a run-of-the-mill.
Yeah, run-of-the-mill we get from them, which is good. I guess the crowd was even chanting, "This is awesome." So.
Well, Humberto hit that great Moon's sort of backflip off the top rope that looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Then,
Andrade had a nasty cut above his eye.
Yeah, he's bleeding, so that it was pretty decent. It was pretty good, like, pre-show match.
And Andrade still is blowing off, Zelina Vega, so I guess they're continuing with that.
That annoyed me because every time I see that pisses me off because I just think, oh, this is only because each other's boyfriends or whatever are mad or somebody, because why would you break these two up who work perfectly together?
Yeah, Charlotte doesn't want, Andrade to be a couple anymore.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Knowing WWE, I don't doubt it, honestly.
But, run-of-the-mill, whatever. I mean, I get
typical, pre-show fare. Better than, most, but still nothing outrageous. The very first match was the New Day taking on the Revival, and this had some great spots in it, some really good action. That's how a ladder match should be done. That's how it should be handled. Two ladders side by side. We saw some cliche moments with, Kofi diving onto the ladder itself, but even still, it's cool to see. So when you see repeats, that you've seen before, it was so well done. They got a solid 20 minutes, I think, for the opening, and it had really good pacing as well. So it actually seemed like the Revival at one point was going to get it. There was a lot of good drama and tension. The guys definitely took some pretty nasty bumps as well, so hats off to them, definitely.
Yeah, that was a decent ladder match, and I would say no less than that. would be expected, and so they had a great match. I mean, a good opening ladder match. Thumbs up, 8 out of 10 maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to score it right there. I mean, like I said, a lot of drama in the match. I actually believed a few times that the Revival could win, and just by the way, the big ending was great from off the ladder, and Kofi's just hanging there, and I think it was Dawson was trying to grab the belt at that point still, and then he slams his head into the titles, and you don't know if someone's going to be able to recover in time. Kofi grabs it. It was just a great way to end the show. Using the belt as a weapon was new. I thoroughly enjoyed that opening. Pretty crazy ladder match.
Yeah, it was a fun opening to the show.
Then we get Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. This one I was really looking forward to, and damn it, they did not disappoint.
Yeah, it was actually
solid 14 minutes. That poor bastard absolutely has a broken nose. You can see right between, like at the top of his bridge, there's the split where it actually broke.
Trying to figure out how it happened.
I went back probably 3 times. I don't know if it was the knee early on around like the 2-minute mark, or if it was when he was by the ring steps and slammed Murphy was slamming Aleister's head into the ring steps, because when he came back up, he was bleeding then.
Yeah, he came back up
after. I don't know if
it
took a minute to start bleeding, and it's when they went on the outside, or if it was definitely the stairs. But one of the two did it.
What's weird is Aleister wasn't bleeding on the ring apron on the outside, and then as he came at him, he blocked it. That's when he threw him into the post, and that looked like he blocked it, and he didn't get hit. And then he got thrown into the steps, and both of those looked like works. They didn't look anywhere near like he hurt his nose, but when he came out of that is when he started gushing blood. So I was like, all right. I mean, I guess he could have sold the deal, but also hit his face by accident. So
yeah,
I'm assuming that either that happened or he did get hit in the ring, and he called it and said, smash my face, I'm going to be bleeding anyway.
Yeah,
that's the only other thing I can think is like, hey, I think my nose is broken. I might as well start targeting my face.
Yeah, absolutely. But you could see right at the bridge, because if you do flatten your nose, it will split there. And you could tell he had a few moments where he was having trouble breathing. And Aleister was also really selling his jaw, which makes me think it was the knee, because I'm not so sure every time he was holding his jaw that he was selling. I think it was really bothering him.
Yeah.
But just because of the amount of times he went back to sell that injury, I really don't think it was a gimmick.
I wasn't a biggest fan of the fact that they were like I'm not the biggest fan of these strikes. I think it's stupid because it's a wrestling match and it's pro wrestling and it's not real. And when you strike people the way these guys were striking, you're going to get hurt. And I kept thinking that, and then literally that happened.
Yeah, and they seem to get hurt more often with these spots, the knees and the elbows.
Yeah, because nobody knows where it's coming, and you're really throwing it.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's stupid. That's me. To me, it's dumb.
If it's a finisher and you know that's how you're ending the match, that's fine. But just to throw them so freely, willy-nilly.
That being said, though, this match was different because they had this, and they had these little spurts of, almost the speed-up momentum, where it's slow for a few seconds and methodical, but then Aleister does a combo of moves really fast.
Yeah, like a roller coaster had great ups and downs, and they would kind of go into a lull for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden you would get, like you said, tons of kicks and a great deal of offense, and back and forth. I
might be forgetting something, but this could have. This may have been, I don't 100% remember. I'll remember as we go through these matches. This might have been the last good match of the night. I may be missing something. I may be forgetting something.
I didn't mind the Miz match and Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
But it certainly isn't a match of the night. That was interesting more than anything. So.
I was really torn between Aleister Black's match and the opening ladder match being my favorite of the night. I liked both of those.
Yeah, I mean, and the way they got to the finish was fantastic. I mean, you get the brain buster, near fall, Before that, he's tucking his head pretty much into his crotch while Black's up on the turnbuckle, delivering super kicks between his legs. I mean, they just beat the living hell out of each other. Then all of a sudden, I love when they do the out of nowhere Black Mass because it looks just so effective. And especially when you get with someone that can sell it well, I mean, lights out. So some people kind of thought that it made Buddy Murphy look bad since he put in the majority of the offense.
Yeah.
But I disagreed with that. I think that it showed that, both men are tough bastards, but Aleister Black has that much more, I don't want to say like determination and drive, but that's what they're going for.
I also like to shout out the guy who brought the Joe Cronin show sign. That was pretty badass.
That was badass.
Not only did he bring a Joe Cronin show sign, he also brought a see if I can highlight it. A Rollins, although it looks like dollars. From here it looks like dollars, but it's Rollins fears Cronin. I don't know who brought this. It might have been
I don't know either.
But yeah, it was a few times we saw JCS Army sign in the crowd. And, Rollins fears Cronin. That's pretty fucking funny. Somebody sent me that earlier.
Ray Sean sent me a message on Twitter saying that he went there last minute. He's like, I failed you. I didn't get to bring a sign. I'm like, no, it's all good. He's like, I can smell green shirt guy from here. I'm like, oh, you poor bastard. He had really good seats, though. It was kind of keeping me up to, snuff with everything that was going on afterwards.
Yeah, the fight after. What the fuck was that about?
I have no idea what the hell that they were building towards or doing.
I almost think that like Vince was upset at the main event.
But it started before the main event.
Yeah.
But maybe that was like in case this doesn't go well, I can send them out. But that's why I would have had the Miz and Bray Wyatt's match main event this pay-per-view, because the Daniel Bryan reveal had the crowd in an uproar. That's the way you send people home happy. That should have been
the ending, yeah.
That would have been a storybook ending. Everyone cheers, goes nuts, and then people want to tune in to see more. Well, with this main event, you could have a perfect night, and then what they gave us with the women was just so piss poor, so many botches and failed executions. They're pulling Kairi Sane out from underneath the ring, and they, instead of just blasting them with the fire extinguisher right away, they pull her out all the way. Then they see her holding it, and they both stare at it for about 4 seconds before she even reacts, and then she starts spraying in their faces. There were so many moments where they're waiting for the spots to happen that they looked like idiots.
This is fire extinguisher? It's like they don't. It's like we know they don't speak English very well, but do they not know what items are either, like, or something like what's going on here?
So I said, oh, here we're gonna get the moment with the fire extinguisher because she's going underneath the ring, and I said they'll spray it through the curtain when they go to grab her, and we'll just see Becky and Charlotte react. No, they pull her out all the way. They see it in her hands. That's like being at a bank robbery. The guy's holding the gun and says, "Put your hands up," and you're like, or come on, just give us something to try and run away, try and avoid it. They're looking right at each other, throwing chairs and just going, oh, and then it was like they were throwing coat hangers, at a friggin' domestic violence argument. It was just so agitating, especially when through the night we got, certain matches that made you believe in wrestling per se again. They made it look as realistic as possible. And then you get this shit, and it's just like, wow, such a far cry from what we've gotten from most of these women before. We thought the Survivor Series main event was piss poor. This was abysmal.
Really?
I mean, Charlotte couldn't even get Kairi Sane to work with her
I'd go
for
with
the Powerball.
I'd go with this over the Survivor Series, because at least this, at least there was like weapons and people fell through some things here. You know what I mean?
Barely. The weapons that they hardly could use on each other, that they just kind of chucked around. They fumbled with everything. They dropped everything. They made it. They're running around. Charlotte's chasing Kairi around the ladder, and then Asuka gets in her way, so she goes, literally
Yeah.
with that much momentum.
Tapped her with a chair, like
Barely. And then she's not sure whether she got hit or not, so she doesn't react. And then she looks and she's like, oh, wait, that was the chair. And then she flails. Late.
This was
5 seconds
retarded,
after
man.
she got hit.
This was retarded.
What was that? How does that make any sense?
I'm-
Again, because reasons, we have to have this be the main event.
I'm telling you, man, if my tongue wasn't fucked up right now, I am in some pain. Like, it fucking hurts to talk. And not only does it hurt to talk, but there's a giant lump there preventing me from really talking, and it feels weird. My tongue's, like, imploding.
They get that numbing spray.
I mean, people really got robbed tonight. I mean, from a meltdown from me. Because this would have been a meltdown tonight if I wasn't in pain, taking medication, watching this almost in a trance. Like, I would be flipping out right now. This was, it was bad buildup, bad anticipation. But in the past, WWE has had good shows, even with terrible builds, because they do that.
Yeah, we've seen it so many times where it's a shitty build, but the wrestling's still good. And for the most part, I wasn't having a bad time tonight. Even through some of the other not so great stuff, it was still okay. That main event really, really got under my skin.
Yeah,
especially because why did that have to be the main event? Oh, because women, they want equality, but
why though?
There's just other things that have.
But they didn't even tout that. They didn't even go in. There was none of that said really that much.
Just putting him in the main event. Why was that the main story?
I don't know.
Why do they continually have to be the main event when they're not? When it calls I'm all for it. At WrestleMania last year, there was a reason, because that was the top book story. I don't feel like this has been handled at all.
Where's the
with
Fiend?
Any reverence of a severe importance.
Why do we not get the Fiend? Why does Bray Wyatt have to be Mick Foley? Like, why?
I don't mind that. He's trying with the alter ego when they don't want the Fiend to take an ass whooping. Bray has this duality to conflict within himself.
It's like Finn Balor did this.
Dual personality.
Finn Balor just did this, like
to a certain extent, but I think they've gone quite a bit further in exploring it with Bray. So Balor just became the demon again because reasons. Even at times when he needed it, he didn't do it. So that was always very questionable. That always felt more like a marketing thing, as where this feels more natural. This really feels like he's just a true insane individual.
Well, I guess you could say that we've always seen this character since day one, because he's been the Mr. Rogers guy, and then the Fiend comes out. So nothing's really changed. But I think there are some people that are complaining, that are like, why don't we just get the Fiend every time? Like, we want the Fiend. It'd be like, I'm trying to compare it. Like, I know what they're doing, and I get it. I totally get it. But I think some people were seeing the Fiend as like, that's the number one thing they want to see. And now they're getting this, and they're not happy about that. So I'm not saying that it's not right. I don't even care, I think. But there are
because even people intended said, oh, I feel robbed in a sense of not being able to see the Fiend, but at least I got to see something new. So an idea of it.
Yeah, you see Bryan's buzz cut.
That as well. The Bryan Danielson return. The American Dragon's back.
That's why I feel like people were cheering. I don't know why he did that. I mean, but it was cool. Let me go to let me see how the donations are going. What's up, everybody in the chat? How you guys doing? I'm sorry that my tongue is all fucked up and I can barely talk. Like I mumbled marbles in my mouth.
Super chat.
Get KAIRI SANE a concussion test now.
Yeah, KAIRI SANE might need a concussion test. She almost hit her head on the ladder. Nick Wolf. I think Charlotte actually might have the concussion. Charlotte's head hit the floor badly.
Super chat.
SMH end of women's match gets buried for Goon brawl.
Mario Rodriguez. I feel like the women buried themselves first. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of funny. Oh, send the guys out for a brawl.
Marty contract is short in NWA. Calm down, people.
What up, the Goon? Yeah, this is just he'll just be in NWA for 4 to 6 weeks or less, and he'll show up in AEW. It's just like Jon Moxley going to New Japan.
Here we go. I'm about to get it, man. Here we go. About to get it, man. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, no.
After the first 2 matches, the rest of the show was just bad. I wanna kill myself now. Lol. AU and NXT will be beyond better than this on the 18th.
Ulysses Smith, thank you, Ulysses. What's up? Thank you for the $5, my friend. What's going on? I agree, man. This was first 2 matches were good for me, and after that, I think Bray Wyatt and the Miz and Daniel Bryan thing was pretty good. It was all right, but it was just so bad after this to me. This pay-per-view took a nosedive after those 2 matches. Very, very bad. I just can't. It was tough for me to watch tonight. To me, I did not have a good time watching this. Now I was a bit tired and grumpy.
Joe's got the herpes on his tongue.
Yeah, I definitely have the herpes on the tongue. It's bad. What up, Corwin? Yeah, it's a big canker bump on my tongue, man. It's terrible.
No TLC matches will never top TLC 2 at WMX7.
Oh yeah, ADTR. Thank you for the donation, man. Yeah, they'll never beat that. You'll never.
Super chat.
Not now.
Super chat.
Hashtag Waffle Waffle.
You piece of shit.
Thank you, Moshmaster D. Good to hear from you, Moshmaster D. What's been going on?
I wanna suck you off tonight.
Ooh.
I wanna suck you off tonight. I'm wondering if it'd be alright if I goddamn suck you off tonight. I will suck you off all night. I will suck you off tonight. I wanna suck and fuck and gargle and snargle and snuffle and fuggle and stubble and guggle and suck me off, suck me off, suck me up, suck me up.
You gotta be kidding me. 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 If I have to hear that one more time from any commentator in WWE, is that the worst thing to say whenever a spot happens? Fuck this show, fuck the damn earth.
Well, let me just first say that that's a Vince McMahon line. You got to be kidding me. Thanks for the donation. That is a Vince McMahon line. It's probably why you're hearing it. But I'm going to do you no favors now as I play you something you're going to love from my commentary. You got to be kidding me.
Give me a break. The fan just tried to slap his fan, and now the fan, I think, might have threw something. And I think, oh my goodness! What the hell is... You gotta be kidding me, Flex Armstrong! Slap his... Oh my goodness! What the hell is... You gotta be kidding me, Flex Armstrong! What the hell is... You gotta be kidding me, Flex Armstrong! Flex Armstrong just attacking a fan in the front row.
That was one of the clips that WWE used when they brought me in. It's one of the clips that WWE heard that got them to call me. By the way, you got to be kidding me. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's the key. That's why they called me, because I said, you got to be kidding me. And Vince was like, you got to be kidding me. He loves it. I grew up listening to Vince McMahon on commentary. Hey, I took some things from Vince. He would love me. I got all the Vince McMahon stuff. But Vic Joseph won it out. Vic Joseph was the better robot than Joe Cronin. And he was much taller than me, too, by the way. This guy is goddamn Nosferatu. Let me tell you how big this guy is. And I thought I had it, too, because the other 2 guys that they had down in Florida, these guys were both smaller than me and looked like complete dorkos. And then there was Vic Joseph, and I'm like, well, Vic's got it. He already looks like a sportscaster or something, so he's going to be the main competition. And then, thank you for your time, and we'll let you know. Oh, Vic Joseph's hired. Joe Cronin sits at home. Here it comes, my God! He's here! We've got Pyro again in WWE!
Someone donated 9. I'm getting hard, I got 9 inches inside of your wife.
$9. I'm shooting my semen to the ceiling. I'm coming and my balls have turned blue. $9. Suck my dick.
Dear Conman 167. Why would any Homo sapien have the gall and make Barry Corbin their favorite wrestler? Anyone who believes that deserves a fate worse than death. He is nothing but a one-trick pony.
Oh
Baron,
my God.
no. King no. Tom Pestock sucks.
That is so weird. Does Khan really like him? But anyway, that being said, Wool Hat Demon? Did you just really donate Wool Hat Demon?
I haven't seen Wool Hat Demon in ages.
Wool Hat Demon is one of the first donators ever on this show.
Don't hate Illumicrate.
I mean, we're going back to 2014, man. Wow, Wool Hat Demon. Thank you for the $9, and it is beyond awesome to hear from you tonight. I got to tell you. Any other takes on this show tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we got other matches to go through, but allow me to talk while you rest your mouth, because I never shut up anyways.
My mouth is hurts.
Kairi gets hit pretty early on. I want to say right first minute or two in the head with one of those monitors. I'm not sure if it's Becky's or Charlotte's that hits her in the head, but they're clearing the announce table. And when they get to the Spanish one, they're chucking the monitors on the desk off.
Yeah.
And it clocks Kairi right in the back of the head. And you hear her, oh! And she holds her head. And immediately she starts yelling for Asuka. Asuka! 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 And I thought that was weird. And I was like, wow, she must be hurt. She seemed out of it for the next 10 minutes at least. She couldn't even get the chairs at one point that she was trying to throw into the ring. That explains why she couldn't sit up for the powerbomb with Charlotte. But Charlotte didn't have enough strength to lift her. She's grabbing at her, like, her waist, trying to pull her. I would, there was just so many moments. Like, is that why a lot of things fell flat? Because she was legit concussed? I'm not sure. But there were so many spots that were delayed that didn't happen right. So when they're trying to pull Kairi Sane out from underneath, maybe she didn't know that she's supposed to pull it yet because she's concussed and doesn't know where the hell she is. She got her friggin' head hit hard by a tablet 2 minutes into the match. And I mean hard. That thing bounced off her head. Just her standing, trying to throw the chairs in the ring, she was falling on her ass.
Can you imagine if Randy Orton...
I just retweeted it, it's...
Can you imagine if Randy Orton had landed on... Because when Randy Orton landed on the monitor the year that Daniel Bryan won...
Oh, yeah.
He landed on the old box monitor. Can you imagine him landing on one of these tablet monitors sticking up?
Oof. Forget that. Because the box monitor, that hurt, but I guess he said the way he landed, his body kind of like wrapped around it. There
was a lot of it. So there's a big 1x6 area to take, you know what I mean? So it's not as bad. But one of these monitors sticking up like in that
it's a
sliver,
straight point. Exactly.
Oh my God, dude. Like, fuck you.
But you have people tweeting out, maybe tossing the monitors isn't the best idea, and I can't disagree with them because
I'm gonna grab my numb stuff. I'll be right there. I'm gonna numb myself.
Yeah, she is just definitely concussed. I mean, no doubt about it. I saw another tweet that made me laugh, but it's true. Asuka wins the Rumble, overshadowed by the debut of Ronda Rousey. Asuka wins the women's title, overshadowed by the interference of Ronda. And then they win tonight, for the main event. And instantly they cut to Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns brawling. It's just a very consistent, fuck you to them. All in all, just I don't want to excuse because of possible injury or concussion. But you have to keep that in mind while critiquing and reviewing. I know I sound like I'm nitpicking certain things, but that's not the case here. I can nitpick, certain moments. This was the entire match. Everything was off about this. From them tying people up, the ropes weren't secure. Becky wasn't even, truly tied down. I mean, at least make the knot tight if you're going to do these things to make it believable. They couldn't get the ladder to stand up in the ring. I know sometimes people have a hard time with it, but this went on and on and on. To designate that much time in the main event of this match, it went on forever. It was only a 26-minute match only, and it felt like 45. I mean, honestly, when they had the moment where she went ahead and Charlotte ran all the way around the ring to spear, I believe it was Kairi at that point, and she couldn't even take the spear. She just kind of collapsed to the ground. And that's what really made me like, oh, she's probably hurt because she didn't even react towards the spear there. That's before the table spot. There was, a few more really clunky moments, even on Asuka, who wasn't concussed likely at that point in time. So I also heard that several people now have said that they had medical checking on Kairi after the show went off the air. So I'm curious to see any update there. I haven't seen anything else official, just different people tweeting. But granted, I time and time again, they have to put the women into the main event slot. And I want equality. I want them to be included. But the thing with the women's evolution was to give them, equal footing. But don't force them into spots that are going to make people regret watching the show. There was so many better ways to book this show, or at least, develop the match card and rearrange spots that I think would have made people enjoy this much more. Had this opened the show and then we went right to the tables match, I think it would have stung that much less, and I wouldn't be so critical. But the main event is supposed to be the highlight of the night. That's your high point. That's your most focused and revered, storyline, match, all of the above. This had nothing really in it that I found enjoyable. And especially for the fact of it was a bad booked match in my eyes to begin with. Either way, you were making someone look bad. You were either diminishing the Raw Women's Championship, or you were, having the women's tag team champions get beat, and now you have a belt that's not being defended going forward because Becky would have 2 titles once again. And they're not going to merge the Raw Women's title with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. At least before, we had an inkling or hope that they would do that with the Raw and SmackDown Women's title, but that wasn't the case. So main event, piss poor. Honestly, I can't think of any spot, even table spot, nothing that was like, oh, wow, or the crowd shit all over it. I know some people thought it was disrespectful, but I thought it was well-deserved. And the crowd was really good tonight. I give them a fair amount of credit. They were loud. They reacted to, just about every damn thing that happened. And the, Minnesota crowd themselves were pretty active. So I don't blame them whatsoever. After Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy put on a great performance, we had a bit backstage with Rusev saying that, he's back and he's happy that Bobby Lashley is going to marry Lana because he won't have to pay alimony, and every day is Rusev Day. The crowd did chant along with that, so it's still somewhat over. But here we get the Viking Raiders come out. They cut a little quick promo, let the raid begin, and you got some chants from Vikings fans, obviously. Then we have the OC come out. So Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson end up coming to the ring. My daughter was convinced it was going to be the Usos. I didn't believe that. I figured maybe it would be the Street Profits. They would give us a redo of what we got Monday. That wasn't it either. And it was kind of obvious that it would be these two, but it didn't really cross my mind, honestly. Maybe just because it was something that I didn't want to see at this point in time, that I just put it out of my mind and didn't consider it an option. But they did say, I believe even this past week on Monday, that they wanted to capture the Raw Tag Team titles once again. So we get into this match, and it wasn't a great match. We had one decent moment getting, Eric tossed over the barricade, which left Ivar to perform a hell of a suicide dive. And then the ref counts him out. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. We've got these guys who are the tag champs who are just always in squash matches consistently. The first team that they faced in weeks, despite Survivor Series, was the Street Profits. Now we get this match finally, and it goes to a no contest. It's just a complete, far cry from what the tag champs should be doing or how they should be presented. So a crappy finish, but we did. I think everybody called that table with the KFC delicacies on it was getting destroyed, mashed potatoes and all. We saw Gallows and Anderson, with some. I think it was Anderson actually with mashed potatoes and corn on his back. Made me chuckle. That's finger looking good, baby. But it would be cool if they actually did have that kind of seat. Never mind for the food, but just to have you sit ringside at a table like that, I think that'd be a great deal. But we knew it was going to come to being destroyed. Then we have backstage with the Miz, and they're kind of recapping everything that's going on with their feud. And the Miz says, "I'm doing anything for my family. I'll face anyone or anything." Then we get Roman Reigns and King Corbin. Not a bad match for them going one-on-one until we got the interference. So up until this point, they're really beating the hell out of each other with Baron Corbin, kind of getting most of the offense in, I feel. Corbin ends up, at one point, he's by ringside, and Roman hits him with a can of dog food. I even chuckled by the way he sold that. We got Corbin to come right back up, and he chokeslams Reigns right through the table, and that was a hell of a near fall. Great spot through the table there. Then Baron Corbin starts to clear off the tables on the outside for the announce tables. He throws Roman to the floor, and he pops right back up and sets him up for a powerbomb. And Roman hits the Samoan drop, but the way he landed, he literally took the entire bump and basically protected Baron Corbin. So that did make me laugh. Roman bust his ass through the table. He basically came down on his lower back, and Baron Corbin just kind of floated to the ground. Roman pops back up and goes to, gear up for a spear, ooh-ahs to the crowd. And then he gets super kicked in the face by Dolph Ziggler, who came out from under the ring. And that's when all hell breaks loose. Ziggler pulls out handcuffs, dog food, and Roman starts to fight back, but then it becomes a total numbers game. We get the Revival coming out and security that Corbin had hired. It becomes too much for Roman to conquer, and King Corbin ends up winning the match. He, Roman basically got served up to everybody and ate a bunch of finishers. So not a terrible match, but it really shows that Roman has no friends, no supporters, no one. The crowd is chanting Usos, different people. No one's coming to help you, and
they're out drinking and driving somewhere.
Yeah, they're a bit fucked up. So they're riding with Jeff Hardy all the way to the Slammer, and the only thing that I find most upsetting about this match is knowing that it's not over yet. That's why I was hoping Roman would win, because I want this feud to be done. I don't lack interest in either person here. I've enjoyed Roman for the most part since he's come back from, battling against his leukemia. He hasn't been a focal point in the main event, and for what he's given us, it's been decent. The whodunit angle could have been handled somewhat better, but he still had good moments throughout different feuds. We've seen him and Baron Corbin go back and forth for so long, so many times. It doesn't feel like an epic rivalry. It doesn't have any real interest to me. And I don't mind King Corbin as a heel. I think he gets a lot of heat. It used to be go away heat. Now I think it's working more as heel heat. And he's really getting under the skin of the audience. So I can appreciate that fact. But I don't want to see them continue going forward. I have no interest in seeing Roman get his win back here.
Their styles are just too close, man. It's just like Roman and AJ, that could be something that you'd want to see over and over again if they were in some kind of rivalry.
Yeah, there's a few people that I enjoy, in that aspect. So I started to get tired of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens because they were doing it for so long straight through. But still, when you see them reignite that feud every now and again, that's something I consistently can go back to and enjoy, so long as it's not 6 months straight.
Unfortunately, though, WWE, that's another one of those, sort of like the movies that are out nowadays where, they put out comic books or side stories, and if you go to see the movie, kind of like Star Trek 2009, there's all this backstory about what's going on in the comics. But if you didn't see that, you don't know what the fuck. But in the movie, they do explain it kind of, but they don't explain it enough to where the comics really did. But whatever, you don't need that. WWE, yeah. I feel like they just almost don't explain anything. Like they start saying like, oh, Owens and Sami Zayn have this history or whatever. And people go, oh, I don't really get it. And then they don't really explain it enough. And then they have a rivalry in the main roster only because they've had a rivalry in the past, they sort of loosely say. And now it's like they never really retell the story or really drive home the idea that these guys have been friends and enemies for so long.
Yeah.
They don't really drive it home for the casual audience. They have no idea. Like, all of us are almost sick of it. We've seen a million times. We understand, yes. But now we know that's about 1 million or less people, probably a less, that know about that. And so there's 2 million people who are watching who are like, what? Who are these guys together? They don't know at all. It's like
yeah, you're not wrong.
It's kind of like Pillman and Austin back in the day. You know, when Austin attacked Pillman, you know, it
was shocking in a sense if you knew.
Yeah, they did establish it a little bit though, but even then they didn't do the best job for the WWE audience. So for at the time, I wasn't a WCW fan. I had no idea that Austin and Pillman were tag team partners.
Yeah,
so
no idea either.
all I had to go on was the loose JR commentary that these guys have been friends and partners for years or whatever. And I thought to myself when he said that stuff, I thought he said, you know, I thought, wow.
Yeah, he said they were riding buddies, I think was one of them.
Where was that? And then, but they did explain it more. They explained it better. They explained that they were friends over and over again for weeks or whatever.
Yeah, as it went on. In the beginning, it was less clear. But see, we don't get further explanation usually. There's not more detail given.
Right, so when Austin attacks Pillman for talking up Bret Hart or whatever he was doing, I still, even to this day, almost don't understand it. Because Pillman was like cutting a promo for Stone Cold because Pillman and Stone Cold were friends. And Pillman was in the ring like kind of promoting that they were going to wrestle. And Pillman was kind of saying like, and Steve was like kind of acting like, I'm annoyed that you're out here, but whatever. And Pillman's like, well, we're friends. And I'm so excited that you're going to be taking on, you know, Bret Hart. You know, it's going to be Steve Austin and the best there is, the best there was. And then, like, Austin attacks him. And apparently it was because, I don't know, because he talked up Hart and Austin. So it was kind of like, how dare you talk up him and me? Just talk me up, you know, type of thing. It was weird even then. But that's sort of the same sort of situation you see in everything now. But even way worse now because then they took time to sort of explain that. So you kind of got it really quickly. You got this backstory that they were friends. But that's the best example I can come up with. But nowadays it's like, just assume this, just assume that. You know, I don't know. Do we get all the matches pretty much at this point? I mean, we hit everything.
No, we got a couple more. We have
oh my God. I forgot. Did you see Charlotte hit the back of her head though?
Yes.
It looked like she smacked her head off the ground. It was like
she hit her head hard, and that's what I'm saying. It was careless as well for most of it. Kairi, I guarantee we're going to get a report that she's got a concussion.
Yeah.
That's coming anytime now.
I think we're going to get one that Charlotte has one.
Yeah, that's possible too. I mean, or at least a stinger in some sorts.
I mean, the back of her head just bumped the ground, so.
Yeah.
Or
so
the KFC table too. People really booed when the Viking Warriors or the Raiding Rikers cleared the table off of the mashed potatoes and shit. And they were like, "No, I don't know if they were booing that you wasted food or they were booing that."
I think they were still booing the finish. To me, honestly,
no, they really booed when they threw the stuff off the table.
Did you take it? Maybe I have to go back. I took it as them just still booing the end of the match.
No, they were booing, but then they started chanting. They started chanting KFC.
Oh.
and then as they were about to put the guy through the table, they cleared off all the mashed potatoes and everything. They wiped it all off, and the crowd went boo, because I think the crowd either wanted him. They wanted him covered in food. I think
Anderson go through it all. He still had mashed potatoes on his back, so that was funny.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Some taters and corn. That's why I said finger licking good. He gave him some herbs and spices.
I mean, it was.
But it would have been great just to land him on all the chicken and everything. So.
I hope those were real people. I feel like they were actors, but
like I said though, I wouldn't. That would be great if they had that every show. Not so much to put people through, but just the chance for 4 people to sit that ringside. Yeah. That would be awesome.
And if they were, I think they were real. There was one. The guy was hyped on the right. He was like hyped up for real. It seemed like. And then his girlfriend and the
girl at the very end was the only one not eating.
Well,
and I feel like they were trying to signal to her to eat.
I think that I think honestly, the couple on the left, they look like a real couple. It looked like kind of like we're happy we won, but we're not happy we're on TV eating.
Yes, that's because I wouldn't want to be eating on TV. You know.
Yeah, nobody wants to be eating on TV, especially if you think you're fat or self-conscious or you are fat, like whatever the case is. Like I would be self-conscious that I would look like my jowls were like flapping while I'm eating on TV.
Especially chicken.
A lot of women,
greasy.
A lot of women don't want to eat on TV. If you're overweight, you immediately feel
even worse. Yeah,
you just feel bad because you're just you're like
judged.
Yeah, you're like I'm just eating. Like I've gotten this way, but now I don't eat like that. But I'm just eating now, and now you think like, oh, look at that, and it's like, no, I'm just eating. So nobody wants to be on. Nobody does. Like,
nobody does.
Nobody wants to be on TV.
And you can tell they're like, hey, we're gonna upgrade your seats. We're putting you right next to the ring, past the barricade. Like awesome. Right. All right, when the camera comes on, you got to shovel in chicken. It's like the guy, if you go left or right, though, number 3, right before the end, he was just thoroughly enjoying himself. So that made me chuckle, too.
Yeah.
But the very last girl, like you saw, she just wasn't eating. She was just kind of looking forward. I think she was just nervous being on camera, like you said, which makes me think that they weren't paid plants or anything.
Yeah, I think they might have been. I wonder if they were picked.
I think I really do genuinely think they were.
They wanted young couples, you know?
We'll have to find out more. We'll ask the people that were there.
Yeah, this really matters to me. I'm just telling you all.
It does. I'm genuinely curious. So
I very much care. I want to know. This is the stuff I want to know about.
And see, instead of having a commercial break that interrupts your main event, why can't you have people eating the fucking food right next to your ring? I'm serious. Go over to them before the entrance to the main event and be like, oh, so how's your dinner? It's like, oh, it's so delicious. All right, and here we go. Roman Reigns is taking on Baron Corbin, you know. And you pan to him once, eating the chicken in the middle of the... Don't go to commercial. Do that. Seriously. What happened to JR and King drinking Mountain Dew?
Yeah, that was...
There's so many of those. Have everybody shooting Stacker if they need to. Stacker 2.
Shooting it. Snorting it up.
Yeah, just crushing it right there on the table, so... I liked Bray's entrance, the Firefly entrance, and The Miz looks like a total bitch because he can't even beat a nerd in a sweater.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks terrible. He couldn't, and the psychology that they tried to tell with it, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, I kept thinking that we might see the Fiend. Seeing him on the screen was cool, but I wish he was talking or moving. It wasn't just a still picture as they were trying to represent. But it was like Bray was talking to the Fiend. And that's why he was like, okay, I'll do it. Because he even apologized to The Miz after beating him. And then when The Miz was first hitting him, he said, no, stop. Why? He was like pleading with him. So it looked weird, but yet made sense. He's childlike. He's got this innocence to him, but he's also very evil at the same time. And then he becomes this really scary demon character when he's pushed or on a whim. It's interesting to me, like I said, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you have that dichotomy between the two sides of him. And then he knocked his shoulder back in as well after getting it dislocated in kayfabe. I thought that was a cool spot.
Right. Yeah,
it was something that we don't usually see. So he was slamming his shoulder back into... I think commentary could have done a better job selling that beforehand, but all in all, short match. So I'm glad they didn't go on and on and on with this as like a, real drawn out close match. They pretty much let Miz get in some good offense early on. Wyatt snaps after he puts his shoulder back in and hits the Sister Abigail for the win. So definitely a unique and odd match, but it was serviceable and I enjoyed it. And I like that they're still building with the character. They're giving us more than just, oh, here's the Fiend, here's the red light. He's like a zombie. So I appreciated it. And I like that he was talking to the Fiend on the screen, telling him, it was telling him to really take out the Miz, to end him. So he goes and he grabs the big mallet, and then the lights start to go out, and he's like, he's here. So he doesn't even realize that he's the Fiend. He thinks it's a separate being. So that even more like goes into the lore of things. And then all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan shows up with his hood over his head to block out the fact that even though his hair was ripped out, he got a clean shave. No bald spots. Would have been cool if he had, really bicked his head and went full shave. But I don't know how he would have looked.
He would have looked like a penis.
Yeah, really.
I just love
if they're ripping hair out, there'd be bald spots. He didn't shave them under the ring. So
I don't think the Miz changed his like scowl for the first like 5 minutes of the entrance of Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, not at all. He just looked that straight pissed.
Yeah, he just looked really angry.
Extremely angry. But I would, you would be. You're a father. Someone basically invades your household and is toying with your family. That I think The Miz played it well. And especially because The Miz kept almost getting disqualified. His anger was getting the best of him. He did a good job in this, but he still couldn't get the job done. So, like I said, Daniel Bryan starts, with the kicks and the knee, flying out of everywhere, corner to corner, goes to decimate Bray with the hammer himself, lifts up the hammer, lights go out, Bray disappears. That's what I wanted to fucking happen at Hell in a Cell. Why couldn't they have done that then with The Fiend? Then we wouldn't have gotten this bullshit DQ and all this, I have to call it because you've gone too far with a sledgehammer nonsense. Then they could have placed it on The Fiend, just disappearing because he was, that would have been better. Not great, but better. This fucking, that still bothers me. I can't help it, but I like what they told here. Daniel Bryan is super over. They're doing better with baby faces for the most part.
Well, they got what they wanted. SmackDown. Remember, they got what they wanted. Amazing.
Yeah, it's funny now because if you look between the two shows, Raw and SmackDown, Raw they don't really have any defining babyface besides Kevin Owens, and even that, he's not like lawful good. He's still kind of follows his own rules. He's more of that, trying to be Austin type thing. At least on SmackDown, they have Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and they have certain really solid faces. And now Seth is going to get cheered because he went heel, which is the opposite of what they want. So
I don't know if he's going to get cheered.
I think
he's going to get booed.
I really think he's going to get cheered for finally going to the dark side.
Maybe.
Even CM Punk, was talking the other day about him saying how he sucks at being a good guy. He needs to be a bad guy. We've said this for years. He just isn't, doesn't have the ability to act like a fan favorite.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he will get cheered, but
I'm tending to think so. You might be right, but I think if they have him continue to be that dastardly and slight cool badass, that he'll get cheered from the crowd. We'll have to see how they go with it, but
and unfortunately Skype still has a problem. Otherwise we would be taking lots more calls. You'd be able to hear sounds eventually. I don't know what to say. It's definitely the new program though. I got to look at rolling back again because I thought it'd be solved by now, but they still haven't fixed it. So
yeah, I downloaded the desktop version of Skype as well. Through like the marketplace store.
Yeah.
And that gave me no difference either. So
I got to go find an old one. Is what it is.
See if you can refuse the updates. And then the last match we didn't discuss was Rusev and Bobby Lashley with Lana in the tables match. Wow. I liked there was a lot of sloppy seconds chants. That made me chuckle. Like I said, good crowd tonight for the most part.
Lackluster though for all this build and all this stuff.
That's the thing. I thought it was going to be like a real scrappy fight.
This should be a blood feud. This should be
yes. This should have been. This is where you need somebody to get busted open. This is where you needed it to be like be all end all. And then I was confused when Rusev was getting hit by the kendo stick on the outside, and he was like pleading with Lana. It was really really odd the way he was kind of like
he was coming off like a bitch.
Yeah,
like are you Mike Bennett?
Made him look weak when you had him try and be the hero to the story,
and they want them to get back together, dude. Here's how you do it: you have Rusev agree to like a death match or like a crazy match or something with Bobby Lashley, and at some point in the match, it's a fight. It's a hardcore fight. At some point in the match, Rusev almost slams in Alana, who's doing nefarious things. And so at one point he almost crashes into her, but he holds himself up and he stops because he doesn't want to hit her. And he pauses and she kind of braces like, oh my God. And he's like, oh. And he looks at her for a second and then he goes to turn to get back to what he was doing. But Bobby Lashley, that distraction, Bobby Lashley hits him in the balls. And then Bobby Lashley grabs the ring bell. And then hits him in the
Busts
head.
him wide open.
Busts him open. He's bleeding everywhere. And now Bobby Lashley is like, oh, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to take him out. So as Rusev is like on his knees, fucking, I can't figure out where I am, and there's blood coming down his face everywhere like this, Bobby Lashley rears back to crack him again in the head, and Lana jumps in the way and stops him. And then distracts him, and then Bobby and her are fighting. And then Rusev gets up all bloody and rolls up Bobby or whatever the fuck, and then wins, and then leaves, and you don't know what's going to happen. And then you continue the story on Raw, and then you get them back together. That's how you do it.
About it.
You fucking numbskull fucks.
Instead she jumps on Rusev's back, scratches his eyes, and then Lashley spears Rusev, but he doesn't go through the first table. Thankfully, they have a backup. He suplexes him again, goes through the table, wins the match, and the heel wins again for the second time tonight, and it means the feud is nowhere near its end as well.
Yep.
No one wants to see this continue. No one wants to see the Corbin and Roman feud continue, so it just was disappointing.
But they have nothing else.
Profits.
They have nothing else, and they don't want to write new stuff. So
they're waiting to get through the Rumble, as we see, because that's when they'll start booking the Mania feuds.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, we ended, 10:20 roughly.
I couldn't believe it.
And they took AJ and Randy Orton, which was tentatively going to be on this pay-per-view, and saved it for Raw tomorrow night. I thought that was an odd choice as well.
Wait, what?
So now we'll get AJ and Randy Orton tomorrow night instead of on the pay-per-view tonight.
Yeah, and did we ever hear about, that was never mentioned why? Like they just...
No reason why. I mean, it was never officially announced for this pay-per-view either, but it seemed like it was a given, so...
I'm just happy there was a Joe Cronin show sign, JCS Army sign. Whoever brought that, we got to find out. Don't we have a guy? Isn't Jared or somebody in Milwaukee area or something, or Minnesota or somewhere? Like he's somewhere out there.
Yeah, I'm not positive.
Maybe it was him. Let's find out who held the sign tonight. Let me play a donation here.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Give you some of the bubbly.
Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Glad I skipped this PPV. I'm going to guess Bully was still a loser and her match sucked as usual.
Bailey have a match tonight?
No.
Bimbo Baggins 1969. He's so out of it, you don't even know who the matches are. Yeah. Bully didn't have one, or Bailey, or whatever. Yeah, she didn't have a match. Could have fooled me. I did fall asleep for 15 minutes, so I thought maybe that was during that time. I missed that.
He said I'm going to guess, so...
Oh.
Give it a hell yeah!
I skipped the whole show, but it has a backlash feel to it where it's nothing major is happening. On SmackDown, Wyatt said The Fiend had Bryan hostage and The Miz would have to deal with Wyatt because The Fiend was busy with Bryan. That's why that happened.
I skipped the whole show. On SmackDown, Wyatt said The Fiend and Bryan hostage. Yeah, that's great. That's a good point. So he got out of it. I didn't even think about
Shit
that.
bomb.
Thanks, Deftones.
You got to be kidding me.
Corey Graves, you got to be kidding me, Graves. Thanks for the $5 becoming a $5 shit bum. Corey Graves. Good old Corey Graves. Yeah, Vince McMahon loves You Got to Be Kidding Me. And I do too. Sometimes I say it. But, man, not as much as Vic Joseph. Vic Joseph sucks. I hate that guy. I legit hate Vic Joseph. I'm glad all you guys understand, that this guy sucks. You know what I mean? That this guy blows ass. Who the fuck? Hold on a minute.
Here we go. I'm about to get it, man.
Give me the green sign, 'cause I'm ready to go. Give me the green sign. I'm ready to go. Oh, T-Rev 24 times 24X. What up, T-Rev? T-Rev, you had the sign, dude? Are you serious?
Wow.
That's badass, man. Thank you, T-Rev.
That's
that
awesome.
was you. You got to fucking... I wonder if you messaged me on Twitter yet or something. T-Rev, thanks, man. That was sick. Another JCS sign. You can't go another show without seeing him. Yeah, we saw it a bunch tonight.
Yeah, quite a few times.
JCS Army, and then Rollins Fears Cronin. That was good. Hell yeah, man. That was badass. And I'm sorry for the people that don't know. Again, my tongue is fucked up. I have a giant cut and canker sore on my tongue, so I'm speaking like I have mumble marbles in my mouth, and I apologize, but it can't be helped. Unless I talk like this, it can't be helped. Here's another
Super
one.
chat.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Sup gang in Pittsburgh at the
Sup?
game hashtag Bills Mafia.
What up, Andale Peasy? What's going on, man? Hell yeah, dude. I hope you're having a good time. Damn. You're still there? Yeah. What if the turkeys ate us? The Bills are going to take a win.
They filleted us? What if they killed us
And ate our children.
What if the turkeys ate us? What if they filleted us? If the turkeys ate us, if they had to hate us, Thanksgiving was a little bit different. Instead, the turkey ate us. They gobbled us apart. But first they'd eat our nuts, and then they'd eat our bud. The turkeys ate us. What if the turkeys ate us? What if the turkeys ate us? What if they ate our fucking nuts?
I can't do it with my tongue.
Ate us instead of mashed potatoes. Instead the turkeys ate us.
PPV had a good start but fell off after the first matches.
Yep.
Main event was a botch fest and can't wait for the next Botchamania video lol. Charlotte and Kairi definitely are injured but FFS they had zero chemistry. At least
Oh,
the
yeah.
Pats won today I guess. 2/10.
Well, the Patriots better beat the Bengals. I mean, come on. We were videotaping them all week. The Soundwave, thanks for the $29 Soundwave. What's up, brother? Yeah, if the Pats had not won, I would have been very, very worried about us, you know. I mean, I am worried. We're not going to win the Super Bowl with this offense, so it doesn't matter anyway. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, all that videotaping, and who knew it would be the defense diving for balls that were thrown bad that would get you the win, and special teams creating a fucking fumble. You know, the fucking videotape shit had nothing to do with anything. But yeah, the Bengals suck dick. But again, it proves again, anybody who's not a elite team, the Patriots beat. They take out anybody as long as they're not an elite team. And the Ravens, the Chiefs, maybe even the Saints and the 49ers and maybe another team in there are elite teams. Everybody else is garbage. Patriots will beat everybody else, but they can't beat an elite team because the Patriots O-line sucks and the receivers can't get open. So it's just whatever the fuck. But the Patriots defense and special teams are out of their fucking minds good. But yeah, man, I'll tell you what. We get a lot of videotape of that Bengals QB's penis. I'll tell you that. Yo, Nick, what's going on, guys? I was able to take a call.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Hi, Joe. How you doing?
Are you laughing at what is he laughing at what I said or something? Did you show your dick or something? Oh, Jesus.
What you said about the videotaping the QB. Okay, let's get back to business. Oh god, TLC was such a pain in the fucking ass.
Wow. Yeah, it was. Look at Alistair's fucking big fat period face.
I did. Yeah, that was terrible. Disgusting. Dude, this night was a meh night tonight. Like, I don't know. By the way, did you see that fucking spear Charlotte gave to, I think it was Kairi Sane?
Yeah, she didn't even react to it.
Oh my God, that in my opinion was the worst botch I think I've ever seen in my life.
I gotta go back and watch that. You're right.
She just kind of rolled. It was really weird.
I have it on Twitter. You want to see? Go to @NicoExtra on Twitter.
You say the N-word? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let me go take a look
No,
at
that- Come on, Joe.
it. All right, I'm gonna wait. Like NICKO?
NIKOEXXTRA.
Oh, there you are.
There we are. I wasn't following you.
You got it?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you with the hat?
No, that's not me. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook.
Oh, I thought you said you.
You said Nick.
I thought you said
I
you.
assumed it was yours.
I thought you said you.
No,
tweeted
no,
it, so,
no.
yeah.
I play it safe. I'm not the Patriots. I don't film everybody on the sidelines. No, I'm just joking, Joe.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
just
an awful
joking.
spear, though. Look at that. I mean, she goes up and grabs her, and then she just kind of rolls backwards. Then she slaps her across the face, and then she goes to pick her up with the power bomb through the table, and that's when that.
Was Charlotte treating her like Andrade in the bed? Like that was a fucking shit spear. Like
that was. Well, I just think she was so concussed, and Charlotte was already done as well with her head that they didn't know what the hell was going on.
Oh my God, Charlotte slapped her like fucking, like slapped the shit out of her like you fucking.
She was trying to wake her up.
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
wake up,
dude. She fucking like she just slaps the shit out of her.
I guess Charlotte wanted to let her in, if you know what I'm saying.
Trying to beat the concussion out of her.
Oh my God, I can't stop watching this. I can't stop watching this. This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
I'm telling you.
I just retweeted.
Life.
Oh my God. It's like some people would have leaned down and been like, or like fallen with her, almost like you did spear and then fallen on her, and then got in her ear and was like, "Are you okay? Are you hurt?" And whispered to her. Instead, Charlotte was like,
slaps.
Like, wait, the fight was like Randy Orton, like, stupid. Wow.
Stupid.
This, and then she pulls her up, ripping her hair. Like she picked her up by her hair after that.
Oh yeah.
There's
and then
so
she tried
much.
to put her through the table, and that's when she like flails up and down and can't even get her to lean up for the table powerbomb.
She can't cut Kairi Sane up for the powerbomb because Kairi didn't jump at all. Because Kairi's out of her fucking lunch. And then it looks like she's trying to eat her pussy out. I'm going to eat your pussy out now. I mean, that's what it looks like. And then she puts her through the table.
Stop. Munch time.
Yum, 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 yum.
Oh, man. That's why they call it kabuki, huh?
That's it.
I guess we now know why she's called Kabuki Concussion, if you know what I'm saying, Joe.
Wow. Yeah.
But to be honest, I hate how they utilize Asuka, man. Like, have you noticed every time like Asuka wins a match, they always overshadow it with everything? Like, look back.
I mentioned that earlier.
Let's look back. Let's look back at it with her winning the Rumble. That was overshadowed by Ronda.
Yeah.
And then when she finally wins the women's title, she got, again, overshadowed by Ronda. And now, tonight, she was obviously overshadowed by Baron Corbin and woof, woof, woof Reigns. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think anybody was overshadowed, but I know what you're saying. Like, they put out these, like, this happens after their match. I think...
Yeah, now diminish her wins.
If they
somehow.
had a great match, though, if they had, thank you, Nick, for the call, by the way. And apparently, like we said, we had problems with Skype. We can only take one call for some reason tonight. I don't know why that is. Some kind of weird,
a million numbers, so
some kind of weird glitch. But yeah, if they had tore the house down, and then the guys had run out there like that, then I'd be angry. Then I'd be like, why did they do that? Like when this match
they were just trying to save the night. It seemed.
Yeah, that's what I
planned
think.
ahead of time. That's certainly how it came across. I mean, Becky and Charlotte are standing in the ring. Kairi and Asuka are down on the outside. Becky and Charlotte go to start climbing the ladder, and then all of a sudden, Kairi starts chucking chairs. Like she goes onto the ring to start grabbing stuff, and they both get off the ladder, stop, and then look over. They look over and wait for her to start throwing chairs in. Why did they not climb and grab the fucking belts? I hate those spots so much in ladder matches. But this one was so egregiously painful to sit through. It's like, climb, grab the belts. They're just pretending to sleep on the outside. Kairi might be unconscious, but still. Oh, no, Kairi's the one that can't get the chairs over the ropes. But I think it went on for about 40 seconds. I shit you not. They went ahead, they get in the ring, they set up the ladder, they start to climb the ladder, and then they look because she's underneath the ring grabbing shit. Who gives a fuck if she's diddling herself down there? Get the belts.
How about at one point when Asuka was spinning that rope around like a cowgirl or something, and Kairi Sane came so close to getting whipped in the face with that rope. It would have been hilarious.
That would have been even better. She got hit with the monitor.
Oh my god, dude! If I saw her get whipped in the eye, like, oh my god, it's really funny. That's on Twitter too.
I mean, TT for you says, his laugh moment was, you hear the King say, it reminds me of my first wife. She wanted to have Olympic sex. And Vic says, what's that? And King goes, every 4 years. And it's like, that's the highlight of the night. Thank you, King.
Yeah, Vic Joseph has never had sex.
No, that's why he has no idea.
Yeah. Jerry Lawler's had like 9 wives. Vic Joseph has had fucking 9 women he stared at from across the library. I mean, Vic Joseph sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now, let me play another
just with them standing there waiting to grab the belts, it's like, oh.
Yeah, get the belt.
Super Chat Party.
Becky is so done. Please get another champ.
Chosen One says, Becky's so done, get another champ. I don't even care about that. I don't even care about who the champ is, whatever the hell. I'm just looking at this as a match. I'm just looking at this as this was the main event. And it was a mess. And like there's concussed Kairi Sane, maybe concussed Charlotte at the end, but yeah, Kairi Sane more than anything. And Charlotte's bitch slapping her because she won't take her spear the right way. I mean, Asuka was doing some cowboy shit. I mean, this was just a mess, but the more I go back, I might watch the main event again. Because the more I watch this and see shots from it, the funnier this gets. This main event is hilarious. Like, it wasn't funny
for all
the first
wrong
time.
Reasons.
Do a little basketball dance off the concrete.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I'm just so sick.
It's not a good funny. It's
devil worshippers.
It is funny.
I'll be honest. I'd like to take a big bite out of your face.
Man, this was terrible, Liv. My favorite part was when we got the KFC chants going. 310. Best match was the men's ladder match. Love you guys.
Alex O'Donnell, we basically agree with that. The men's ladder match to begin it was the best match probably. And yeah, look at that. KFC, you love the KFC chant. I mean, it was loud and clear on the TV. I was like, wow, KFC is over. But that's about it. That's what's over nowadays. Like the foreign weird shit in the match, like the weird like outside company. Like, that's why Dolph Ziggler would have been over if he had been the fucking Colonel. Like he had really been him, like we all said back then. People would have cheered that. Would have been stupid, but people would have cheered it more than this.
Super chat.
Yeah.
Had the JCS Army also on same sign. What a shit show.
Yeah, T-Rev, we saw both, actually. I saw the JCS Army first, T-Rev. Thanks, man. That was awesome, dude. I was pumped up.
Super Chat.
I think Leah saw it too. My wife was like, hey, I see a sign.
Triple H will bring in vanilla midgets. Do kick and flips doesn't solve anything from WWE problems.
Kevin Daly, thank you for the $14.99, Kevin Daly. You're right. You're right. I mean, dude, we need mega characters and good week-to-week storytelling and the ability to be able to tell stories in the matches. All three of those things. All three of those things are basically not usually being done, or at least not even close to where they should be being done. And therefore, we're stuck with this. This was, first match was great, second match was good, and then it all kind of went downhill after that with a few little moments here or there, but yikes, for a TLC-themed pay-per-view. This is why you can't just throw out themes and then be like, we're going to have a match because the pay-per-view says it. And you're supposed to have TLC matches when it's a spectacle or when there's a reason for it. No reason for these.
It's hard to do when they're all themed pay-per-views. I had sent you 2 videos. The first one confirms when Alistair broke his nose.
Oh, okay.
And the second one just really shows the point I was trying to sell before of how they're just standing in the ring. But no, you're absolutely right. We've said this before with Hell in a Cell, and when they do these types of shows, Elimination Chamber, those matches used to be feud-ending, payoffs, and instead, when you have a pay-per-view, entirely basically themed and surrounded by these types of fights and matches, it's just so hard to make them each feel unique in their own way. I mean, that was the issue with War Games, and both of those were exemplary, but we had 2 in the same night. So it's hard to see people go through tables and tables and tables without it feeling just done to, overdone and oversold. So there was nothing tonight past the first ladder match that was going to top that, honestly. And we didn't get anything that topped it. The Street Profits are backstage, and as they're basically talking up vasectomies, they go ahead and they see a big fight break out between Roman and Corbin and New Day, the Revival, everyone's, and then all of a sudden the Street Profits kind of just stand there for about 10 seconds. Then they decide eventually to join in. I think they missed their cue at first. And the shots that they're taking are a mile off. It just looks terrible, and then it cuts away. So no idea why everyone's fighting still and why they continue to fight after the main event. And it also, didn't just include the SmackDown side of things. It was multiple brands, but I'm curious as to where they're going with this.
Can you imagine if Kairi Sane hit her head on that ladder when going through the table? Because I don't know if anybody noticed it, but there was a ladder laying down on the wall.
Yeah.
And the table was set up overlapping it a little bit. And
yeah, because they have them around the ring in case they need more.
So when Kairi Sane's head comes down, it's right on the side of the wall. And there's a ladder, like the bad part of the ladder that you don't want to land on. I was watching it live and I noticed it and I went, oh my God, she's going to hit her head on that ladder right there. And
maybe they would have knocked the concussion out of her.
She almost did. Because if you look, I got the picture of it. If you look, now this shot you can't really tell that well, but she is, there's the edge of the ladder.
I mean, right there.
And the edge of the ladder if you look at the camera angle from the other side, if you watch it on your DVR, this ladder is almost halfway into where the table is, but it's not. It's only about a quarter of the way. She went right through the middle. Her head comes down right to the side of this ladder. Just missed it. And, Charlotte was fighting with her to get her up in the powerbomb, not paying attention. She was mad there was a chair on it. She was like, get this fucking thing out of here or whatever. And it's like, why not put it through the table too, and the chair in the table? Fuck it. But, whatever. Anyway, she moves it. And, yeah, and Kairi Sane has no idea what she's doing when she goes up for the powerbomb because she's still concussed. And, yeah, she just missed this ladder. And it would have been devastating if she hit the edge of this fucking thing. Or even if it'd been worse if she'd come really close and just clipped it because she would have hit these edges and would have tore her head open. And it's just a crazy amount of dumb shit that was going wrong, or dangerous in this match.
They got lucky quite a few times.
But dude, yet
to
the Hardys
have worse injuries.
But the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and all those guys, they can go tear up a WrestleMania 17 or whatever TLC match. They can go nuts, off ladders, through the things, flip all over the place, and it's nobody really gets hurt. You know what I mean? These girls are out there half-ass going these little things. And they almost hurt themselves several hundred times, and they did hurt themselves several times. I mean, it was just, that's the thing that I noticed watching it. And I mean, I'm watching it as just thinking what is this? This is so weird that, how do they teach these people now? This is so weird.
You figure they're so worried about, concussions and injuries, and they're hypersensitive to a certain extent, and then you see these type of examples and you're like you said, what are they showing you? How are they training you?
Everybody looks like they're not committed.
You? Either not committed or just unprepared.
They look
People
like they're
tucking their chins, they're not rolling properly, they're not going flat backed when they land, and then they bounce or they roll too hard. It's a lot of this could be avoided.
They look like they're overthinking and that they're like timid sometimes, and all of those things lead to injuries or messed up spots? Are they forgetting what they're doing, or there was so much plan they forgot? Like, I'm not really 100% sure, but all I know is that I've never seen it so they look lost at times or half sure of what they're doing. That's the biggest thing I can tell. Nobody looked half sure of what they were doing when usually when you watch wrestling.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on here in the WWE.
Like you said, they're just not fully committing to whatever move. They look like they don't want to get hurt or don't want to take the bumps, and maybe it's they're getting bumped around too often, and that's the issue. So they're just sore and they don't want to continue to take more bumps. But just because there's more televised dates, back when Austin and Taker were in there, like you said, or even the Hardys, a year or two later at that point, they were traveling just as much, doing more house shows. So it's still kind of the same circuit. It's not like things have changed that drastically.
I don't understand. It happens with the women a lot. I will say that. I mean, I know that, like, I'm not one of these people that doesn't like women's wrestling, because women do tear it up sometimes, and I love it. But for whatever reason on the main roster, and sometimes, and mostly in AEW recently, the women don't look good.
That women's match at War Games was brutal. Those chair shots were death-defying at times.
That was great.
They had oomph behind them. They had momentum. And tonight, those chair shots, they looked like they were trying to have a pillow fight. And I don't mean to sound condescending, but it really was like it lacked any power whatsoever. Even if you're just going to do, middle of the chair, flat back, go for it. Because when Charlotte ever went and like raked her back with it, and then she doesn't react, and then, I did get hit, so now it's time to react late.
Didn't we say the women's
so piss poor?
Didn't we say the women's War Games match was the best match of that show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, so that anybody who ever says like women's wrestling isn't good or whatever, they can't be good, that's bullshit. That is so bullshit. I cannot wait for
Wednesday night. I cannot wait for Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler on Twitter had one of my favorite heel moments over the weekend where she made a little girl cry. It was great. She beat Candice LeRae, and then she's leaving the ring, and Candice LeRae's, one of her fans is off to the side, kind of like mouthing off to Baszler. So Baszler walks over to her and says, "You did this," puts her title down, goes back in the ring, and then chokes out Candice again. And while she's choking her out, she's pointing to the little girl, yelling, "You did this! That's fucking great!" She goes back, and they turn to the girl, and she's got tears in her eyes. I'm like, that is brilliant.
You scarred that girl.
And I mean, just locked in with the choke, and she's just, the clutch. You did this. You did that. That's so good. So good.
Smaller.
That's the kind of, we don't have that on the main roster, unfortunately. And that's a female being one of the top heels in the whole WWE.
Yeah, but
she's got it right. She's got that great heat. How can you beat that? Women's wrestling is alive and well. I don't like it when they force us to watch these scenarios play out where there's no story, no interest, and you're only doing it because it's Becky and Charlotte.
How do you have a TLC match at your disposal and it's just like this? Like, it's terrible.
And you don't defend any of the women's titles. I mean, you have Becky in the match. You could have had anybody else in Becky's spot instead. Becky should be defending her belt. If they want to do this, then why isn't Bayley at least having a match on this pay-per-view? I know Seth is injured. He hurt his hand. I know Braun is hurt. But just because they want Braun to win the IC title, supposedly, doesn't mean Nakamura still couldn't successfully defend his title in the meantime. Why couldn't Rey Mysterio defend his United States title? We ended 40 minutes early. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I don't want a 5-hour show, but you can go the full 3 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was surprising. But you know what? Everybody was complaining we need shorter shows, and I'm not.
When they give us matches that go on for 30 minutes, like the main event, that's so piss poor.
I mean, I am shocked a little bit that I was looking at the clock like, is this really going to end at like 10? What's going on?
That's why I was surprised. That's why I was a few minutes late. I was like, I got to piss still. I thought I had more time.
Yeah, you thought you'd take a break in between and, whatever. A lot of people did. And nope. This is, by the way, if you're new to the channel, I hope you guys subscribe down below, hit the bell, all that stuff, so you see my uploads, and it helps me out as well. And the people that donated, that really helps us also. But normally we would take tons of phone calls and we would hear from you guys. But Skype is still fucked up, and I'm going to keep trying to figure out what the fuck's going on with Skype. And hopefully I'll solve that problem soon, because this is irritating as shit. I want to bring back hearing from the people.
Yeah.
That's half the goddamn show a lot of times. It's really making me mad that I can't do it, but, fuck it. This show was AIDS.
Either get an update or be able to roll back and figure it out.
I'm probably going to give tonight a 5 or 4 out of 10.
I'm so conflicted, honestly, because, I mean, right down the card, the first match is a 7.5 for that ladder match. You could even say an 8 if you really want to. Same thing with Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. I really like that match. That's a solid 8. The Viking Raiders, that's like a 3. There's nothing really from there. Roman and Corbin, I would give a 6. It had some moments that I enjoyed, and it wasn't as piss poor as previous. The Miz and Bray, for the story side of things, like the match itself, I'd give a 6, but the story and everything, maybe a 7. Rusev, Bobby Lashley, a 4. And the women's main event, a 3. So you're looking at like 8s in one side in the high end of things and 3 in the low. So giving tonight a 6 is kind of like in the middle, but I could even say a 5 and be happy with that, sadly. If you go, 3 points between each, essentially, you're at like a 5.5. That seems to line up pretty damn even, so.
I'm just, Tommy sent me something. I was looking at how retarded he is.
I'm glad Justin Bailey's okay and back. I mean, he wasn't there for Monetize This, but he was back for Corrupted last night.
Yeah, Bailey was back in form on Corrupted last night, and
he was on fire.
We had a good time last night. That was fucked up. If you missed, I hope you didn't miss Corrupted out there.
About to get it, man.
Here's one more donation.
About to get it, man. Here we go. Oh, no.
I also didn't mind the Bray thing either. And Daniel Shaw was over.
Yeah, that part was pretty good too, and that, again, should have been how the show ended probably, but, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking.
Exactly. Yet again, match placement kills them.
Yeah, I don't know. Because
I know I wouldn't be, if the women's match, main event opened the night, I surely wouldn't feel as robbed as I do.
Yeah,
and that's part of the psychology of booking a pay-per-view.
It was just a bad choice. The show went bad, and that
especially
was
when you have
really
other
bad.
People jumping in for this huge brawl on different brands. It's like, well, you got people from Raw and SmackDown, as they made sure to keep stating over and over. Oh, people from Raw and SmackDown. Well, it's not like you're going back to the build for Survivor Series. So what? Are you trying to say like, oh, these are the people fighting for the Rumble and they're going to do that kind of thing?
Yeah.
That has no interest. I don't want to see people invading SmackDown or Raw because they're going to win the Rumble.
Oh, God.
That's asinine. Bray Wyatt tweeted out, he said, "Dear Daniel Bryan, nobody likes a bully. I was so excited to see you. P.S. The Miz is tough. P.P.S. He's coming for you all." So I'm glad he keeps up the story, and
how about do you think we're going to get Daniel Bryan and The Miz versus the Fiend?
That would be cool.
I could see that, like a 2-on-1.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And apparently we're going to, have to find out how Daniel Bryan escaped the Fiend, because he did say he's still with him. So
yeah.
Little fun tidbit. I wonder if, people have mentioned over the weekend if WWE is going to sue AAA or Sin Cara because he's still using the Sin Cara name.
But now
at AAA events.
They said Sin Cara returns, but this is not Hunico though. This is now the original Sin Cara, right?
I'm not sure. I thought it was Hunico, the current Sin Cara, the one that they just let go.
The picture I saw of him, I thought it didn't look like him at all. The new one. I was like,
I thought it was the most recent Sin Cara.
All right, it didn't look like Hunico to me, but okay, wow.
Yeah, I thought it was Hunico, but
how messed up is it that a guy?
I could be wrong, because when I was hearing Meltzer speak about it, he said he's on a 90-day non-compete, so what makes me think it's Hunico.
I'm just
because he's supposed to be on a 90-day non-compete as well as
how could
Luke Harper and.
How could Hunico compete then?
That's the thing. But AAA had him.
Yeah, but that's why I thought it was the original Sin Cara. I thought
no. That's why they're wondering if he's going to be sued. So
because it's so confusing. I'm trying to figure out how this works legally. The original Sin Cara comes to WWE. It doesn't work out. Hunico then becomes Sin Cara, takes over the character in WWE. But Sin Cara is originally Sin Cara's character. So, yeah, he wrestled as Sin Cara and like Mystico or Mystices or something.
No, from my understanding here, it's the original. It's not the original. It's the second one. It's the second Sin Cara.
So it is Hunico.
They said this is interesting considering his recent release from WWE. He didn't compete in an actual match, but he did execute lucha moves when making the save because he came in to assist someone at the show. They said per his 90-day no-compete clause, Sin Cara can't compete anywhere until March 8th.
I am so lost on this. I'm trying to figure this whole timeline out. Sin Cara, Mystico comes to WWE.
Yeah.
They let him go, but they still have the Sin Cara character.
I think they bought the copyright trademark name then.
So they then give it to Hunico.
Could, sell the toys and all that stuff. So they own Sin Cara, the name.
They give it to Hunico. Then
they keep him under the mask. So
but then the
real
Sin Cara though is now back on the independent scene, but now he can't wrestle as Sin Cara, so he has to wrestle as Mystico.
Yes.
Hunico is Sin Cara, and now Sin Cara has been let go by the WWE. And
yes. And he gets to keep the gimmick? Yeah.
But what the fuck is going on here? I'm so lost. So Hunico gets to leave the WWE, but WWE still owns Sin Cara, I would think.
Yes, they still own the rights to the name. They could put Sami Zayn in the mask and
but now Hunico leaves the WWE because he's let go. Not really Sin Cara that's let go. Hunico is let go.
Yes, and then Hunico shows up at the AAA event as Sin Cara.
Meanwhile, the real Sin Cara is still wrestling as Mystico somewhere.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
what are you doing?
So fucked up. There's another part to it I'm forgetting, but it's just so fucked up, man. It's just whacked out.
It's like, we get rid of you, but we take Justin Bailey and make him Joe Cronin, and then he gets fired, but he appears on, Cultaholic as Joe Cronin. It's so, just baffling.
The Soundwave says, don't they already have a new guy playing Sin Cara? I don't think so. Hunico's the second guy to play Sin Cara.
That was discussed if they were going to keep the character going or not, but I haven't heard anything personally yet. It very well could be discussed, and I missed it, but
that's in Mexico. So Mexico law overstepped U.S. law, so nothing going to happen with the suit. Todd Tate says, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Maybe, but it's copyright infringement, so I don't think that matters where you're located.
I think if by making money in Mexico, even with the name, that's possible. You could still be in trouble for that. But he'd have to be served a legal notice. He'd have to be in like Connecticut, or they'd have to find him. I think. I don't know if that's true. But I don't know. I mean, outside the country, I have no idea. One thing that I never understood is how all the promoters get away with playing wrestlers' music. There's like 200 people, and they play, and like say, like Bret Hart shows up somewhere in front of 200, 300, 400 people, and Bret Hart comes to the ring, they play Bret Hart's music. Like, you could be sued for that.
Yeah. See, the thing is, there's no such thing as a international copyright.
Right.
That will automatically protect the work throughout the world. Protection against unauthorized use is particular to the country and depends on the national laws of that country. But Mexico, I believe, follows the same copyright laws.
Yeah, pretty sure
only 3 countries have no copyright laws.
China.
It says San Marino, Turkmenistan, and Eritrea. If I'm saying that right.
Wait, China has copyright laws? Jesus, China don't give a shit about ours.
Super chat.
And that's it.
Super
Those
chat.
are the only
You
3.
going to show the video Tommy sent you, Joe?
No, he wants attention. Soundwave. Thank you, Soundwave. What up, Soundwave? He's a fucking retard. I'm sorry. What?
That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, no, that's all it is.
I still want to roast him.
Yeah.
Make him cry.
You wouldn't be able to hear it. He sent me a video of lollipops, like he said he found at the store. It's
oh God,
really bad. And he's also touching somebody.
I think it's time to whip out another one of my jokes.
What? Wait a minute. What jokes?
The unused, material that I worked so hard on, but
all right,
we never got to cut in on Tommy personally.
All right, you want to feed the Riri? Here we go. Let's feed him. Now, Jake, you won't be able to hear this though, but
I'll pull it up on the stream. Like that's what I've been doing. So
feed Slob 75.
There we go. Support.
There you go. Let's feed Slob 75. This is what he wants.
Stay positive.
Remember, he knows I'm live with 1,000 viewers, so he sends this to me because he needs to stay relevant since he's taking a break from all the shows and everything. This is him being relevant, trying to stay relevant. Everybody he sends me this during the show. Remember this though. He comes in the chat and calls all of you scumbags, calls all of you scumbag assholes, even though his friend calls him and goes,
Tommy, I hope your fucking family dies.
How you clean your butthole. And thank you, folks. And this is how you clean your butthole. And thank you for watching this video.
This is how you clean your butthole, and thank you.
As always, I'm Tommy NC 2010, and I'm keeping you on the inside.
That's someone else's idea. I bet.
Always put everything above everything else and go above and beyond.
Oh my God. Always put everything above everything else? What the fuck is he talking about? And this... He has a diploma. I don't. So I just don't get it.
Put everything above everything else and go above and beyond. Yummy, yummy. I got fummies in my tummy.
Wow. You stole my catchphrase. You asshole.
Subscribe.
Wow.
God, that's disturbing.
That is, wow.
All right, I'm going back to the roast jokes just because I have to. You know why he's so obsessed with the Joker?
Why is that?
Because his dick looks like Heath Ledger's bloated corpse. I actually spoke with the director of Tommy's Maid episode.
Yeah.
And he thought he was making a comedy. So.
Wait a minute. That guy looked like he was making a fucking funeral video. That guy. What was his name?
God.
Cheezel or whatever?
Yeah.
Like Chesler, or I don't even remember the guy's name now. Chester, something like that.
Chester, yeah. Tommy is just a pure example of what happens when you get pregnant from pre-cum.
Oh.
I'll save the rest. I still got a few more.
Oh my God. You can probably... You snuck that one in there. I didn't even explain. I didn't know what was going on. Then you just hit me with that.
You had to slide it in.
Wow. Yeah. That was... I'm going to read the chat. I see like the gunshots to people's heads.
Super chat. Super chat.
Super chat.
Yeah, I wish I didn't donate that message now. Fearful face. Fearful face.
Yeah. Good job, Soundwave. Good job. Fat ass N-word, Adam Cruz says. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I still want to make the Froggy song you did the other day as a ringtone. That was hilarious.
What do you mean? I don't remember what you're talking about.
unmonetize this. The suck my froggy dick.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
DX
yeah,
song.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't like them enough, but I kind of liked them.
I thought that was hilarious.
I thought we still had to work on that. We could get that frog donation going, you know. Because
Frogs and turkeys.
People really wanted the frogs versus the turkeys on Monetize
Yeah,
This. I don't know what was going on, but I'm telling you, if you saw Monetize This was kind of weird, but it was all right. But it was weird. But man, Corrupted killed it though. Corrupted murdered Monetize This week. If you miss Corrupted, you gotta listen to Corrupted. It was fucking great. Like I don't normally masturbate this much over something, but like Throwdown a couple weeks ago was really good. I was obsessed with that.
Yeah, a lot of people reached out to me and said, you know, did you hear Corrupted yet? I was like, no, I got to check it out. And a lot of great funny moments. I'm almost through with it now.
Yeah, it was
shit is hilarious.
There's like a lot of little funny things. I got to clip a bunch of shit because it was a lot of funny.
You got clips
things
for days there.
Now Drew bombed a bunch. There was a bunch of horrible bombs that Drew had on the Corrupted podcast, but he had one line that was finally decent. Like he actually had one that was good, and I'm gonna play it for you guys. Listen to this. This is the one line that Drew had that was good, I think.
No comment.
I mean, oh no, that wasn't it. Was it? Is this it?
I think it was just the awkward silence.
I'm telling you, man, Skype's fucked right now. Like, there's something. Skype has really been fucked up recently.
Sorry.
What the fuck was that? Oh! What was that? If you guys want to hear clips from Corrupted, you can go to @CorruptedClips on Twitter. JB's running a little highlight Twitter for us, so you can check that out over there.
Fuck it.
160.
Whoa.
That's no comment.
I mean, but she didn't look like that from the photo. His ex. She looked like she was like, oh my god, I don't know. She looked like she was like one.
She had big ass hips.
No, that was before the abortion.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yes. I can believe Drew said something funny, but right before Drew said something funny, not Waterboy Jacob, Dummy was like, shh. I was like, what the fuck was that?
That was before the abortion.
She looked like she was like, oh my god, I don't listen to Dummy here. No, she looked like she was like one.
She had
Jesus. Shh. What the fuck? That was annoying.
Big ass hips.
No, that was before the abortion.
Oh.
Oh my god.
It's like there's like a bunch of those moments like on that show, but Drew had been bombing the whole show.
Unfortunately.
Like real bad, I thought. And Dummy just said some bizarre shit that I've never heard. Like some of the stuff that Dummy said was like, what the fuck are you saying? Like it was some of the weirdest shit I'd ever heard. And speaking of Corrupted, obviously you can become a patron at any level, but I do got to give a special shout out to some of the new patrons and the top ones.
Tommy Paul Bearer.
Yeah, but see, Paul Bear is less annoying. Paul Bear was less annoying. Almighty One, thank you for the $2. I want to say thank you and welcome back to Nito Exodust, who's back. Nito Exodust is back on Patreon. Thank you to him. No surprise, Scott left. Joe Compton. What's up to Joe Compton for showing up in the $25 producer tier? So thank you. He became one of the 34 producer level people we have on Patreon. Thank you to Joe Compton. Renegade, who jumped in $25 a month. Thank you, sir. And Jake838, who's also come to Patreon, as well as Woken Peta is back. What up to Woken Peta? King's Rage TV, CSI Gamer, Shane Dickey, Tony Diesel. It's a different Tony Diesel than the other Tony Diesel, though, I think. I don't know why. It's confusing. Y Society's back. What's up to Y? Tony Diesel, other Tony Diesel, went from $50 a month to $100 a month. That's nuts. That's fucking nuts.
That's crazy. But
that makes up for all the other people that either can't be patrons or just have to do $1 or $2. But for just $2, you guys can download the audio file of Corrupted Podcast every week, and then other things too, to your phones to save on your data plan. Plus, you can hear it. You can't hear it anywhere else. Corrupted Podcast. It's about 3 hours long, and there's 130 episodes now of Corrupted Podcast. So go enjoy everything from episode 1 and on. I definitely think last night's show was pretty good. In fact, I'm going to listen to it again later, because when the other guys say a lot of funny shit that I forget, I got to hear it again. And we also hit 401 patrons again, so thank you for that, getting us back to the 400 mark. That's badass. And that's about it, man. That's about all I got to say about anything tonight. This show put me to sleep. And I'm not even, sometimes usually Sunday nights, I do my gaming stream. And I stay up gaming, and we have a good time, and we're live on Twitch and here on YouTube, and you guys come in, and people drop bits and drop bombs, and they jerk off, and I play video game, and I just have a good time, and we all have a blast. But this show tonight, I fell asleep for 15 minutes and then had to fight to stay awake. This show is the cure. I mean, I slept well today. And I didn't even, I didn't do too much crazy shit today. We did have a problem with the bathroom leaking. Again. The fucking water was dripping from the kitchen. I was in the kitchen unpacking the groceries, and water starts pouring down from the ceiling into the kitchen.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like,
with all the rain, I don't doubt it.
No, that's not what it was, though. It's the bathroom. Leah was giving Finn a bath.
Shit.
And so we go up there, and I'm looking at the pipes, and it's not the pipes. You know what it was? The device in the middle of the shower that you turn the knob to make it hot or cold.
Yeah.
The round part, stuff was
behind it.
Water was getting behind it.
The caulking, whatever that seals it. Yeah.
Yep. And it was rolling down the tub and coming down at a pretty good rate into the kitchen. And the last time it leaked, what happened was, in the bathtub, when you get 70% full, there's like a stopper, or not a stopper, but there's like a hole where the water can actually go through. I always thought that drained back down into the drain. It doesn't on ours. It just drains out of the tub and then falls down the fucking ceiling. And so there's all kinds of problems. So now we need a plumber for that.
So now you got to worry about that shit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that was a nightmare. But I mean, I recocked it and I tightened it up with the screws, and then I fixed the shower head was leaking a little bit to where it wasn't leaking outside the tub, but it was literally dripping like a straight stream down right on top of the device of the valve. So where those holes were in the valve in the hot and cold, water was streamlining down right into the area because the valve up top was leaking as well. So I fixed that, so that's not leaking anymore. And then I recocked, I had to open up the whole thing, but I still think we need a new one. I still think that the tub in the wall in the bathroom upstairs, which is the only tub we have in the house, I think that needs to be fixed because, and you can tell that the previous homeowners had this problem all the time. They put trash bags down.
So they kind of home remedied, ignored it.
What the fuck is that going to do? Yeah, I mean, so you got to imagine when you come into my house, it's all a downstairs area, whatever. You go upstairs, you're on the second floor, and there's all the bedrooms, and then there's the bathroom. Now, the tub, it takes up the whole side of the bathroom, so there's nowhere to access this. So you have to come out of the bathroom into the hallway, and there's a door, and you open the door, and there's the piping, and then there's the bathtub. And then if you look down, there's the trash bags and the pipes and the wall and whatever. And you're like, it's so weird. But they just totally, I don't know, they didn't do the right shit at all with some of the things in this house. But, so that's got to get fixed.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. But I cocked the shit out of it. So I think we fixed it.
At least you sealed it somewhat. That helps.
I think so, yeah. But then there's, I don't know, this is a
better than just leaving it.
Well, we need to take showers.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's definitely going to be mold. It comes right through the kitchen ceiling. It sucks. So now I got to paint over that shit. Anyway, I'm done with everything. I give it a, what did you give it again? I'm giving this like a 5 or 4 out of 10 or something.
I was at a 5.5.
All right, cool, man. And Sean's View's still missing.
Still.
I have no idea where he is, guys. I swear to God to you, I don't know.
Haven't heard from him in ages, it feels like.
I
Hasn't been in the chat, nothing.
I found his number, and I did call him. He has not answered me. I'm kind of worried about him, to be honest. It's kind of weird. It's weird that he hasn't posted. In fact,
really quick, Ray Sean was there live. He said after the end of the night, the women looked surprised to the finish after TLC to see all the guys fighting. So it didn't look like it was outright planned. But he said, I can't add. Other than that, I left, as the fight was happening. He said being there live, it was a 4 out of 10. Wow. So he really didn't like that main event.
Yeah,
he said Roman just looked strong as always and kicked ass as he normally does. And he said, I think Vince didn't like the main event. As you said, there were a lot of botches in the main event, especially being there. I'm sure you could notice it more. And then Brandon, Hicks tagged us on Twitter in Becky Lynch's tweet. She said, at Kairi Sane, you were truly a warrior. So that definitely means she was concussed.
Oh, yeah, she was. Yeah, that's.
And then you see, I only saw this spot briefly. Like, obviously, I watched it once during the match, and I didn't pay much mind to it because I was so focused on all the other F-ups. But Charlotte just overhand heaves Kairi Sane into the wall, and she hits her head both down on the ground, and it just looks bad. So people said, I think that this is what injured her, not the monitor, because after this moment is when she looked out of it, and that's a possibility too. So she hit her head quite a few times. More than just once.
Right. Yeah.
Like you said, a lot of unsafe moments tonight.
I got a bunch of messages from Sean's View from back in the day. My YouTube channel is fucked. Go ahead and bash me. You pushed me over the limit for the last time. I'm done with you. That was from December 2017. Yeah, hopefully Sean's all right. I did message him on Facebook, though. I mean, I know he's a goofball fucking asshole, but kind of worried about him, to be honest. Yeah, let me see. The Exploder. Ooh!
Yeah, that looks just like a rough landing.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, dude. Imagine if she overdid it and threw her into the crowd. That'd been great.
Just whoops.
That is. Wow. This is also not how you throw somebody. Like,
no.
Can I, like.
Her weight isn't evenly distributed when she goes over either. Her hips aren't hitting hard enough, but her head is, so she's sliding down at an angle where her head's gonna take the brunt of it.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Well, an Exploder normally, you throw them and they land on their back, so it's okay. But when you throw them like an Exploder, but they don't hit the wall quick enough, then they land on their head. So she needed to hit the wall harder first. But either way, what Charlotte really should have done was fall away throw her, because Charlotte's a very tall person and Kairi Sane's a very small person.
Yeah.
So you can't just throw her over your head like that. You need to kind of fall back as you're throwing her to give her a more vertical shot at the wall instead of an arcing shot. So this is just basic sort of what's the word for me? What's the word I'm trying to say? Oh boy. It's not spatial relations, but I don't know what the word is.
I can't think of it either.
Boom! Oh, yeah, there's another one. There's her head. Boom!
Yep, see? So that's why I said her hips are up, her weight isn't evenly distributed, and
boom!
Her head's going towards the ground. It's kind of like an arrow, she's smearing her downwards.
Boom! It's not spatial relations, but you just can't back body drop her like it's on an Exploder. On an Exploder, you got to fall. And Charlotte did fall backwards. She did do it. She did do it here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just a tough move.
She just kind of flung her, though. I would have held on to her and drove her into the side rather than fling her and let her go entirely. She's too light. like you said, Charlotte's tall. She's bigger, stronger. So she's just flinging her. She lets go halfway through.
Yes, yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of carelessness with Kairi Sane tonight. Charlotte wanted to kill her, I think. And man, when Charlotte slaps the shit out of her, like that's the fun. Like if you haven't seen that on Twitter, you got to go to Twitter. I don't want to show anything because you never know with WWE, but you got to go to Twitter. And
apparently it's all just timing with them.
She slapped the shit out of her though. She was mad and slapped her. Like I'm mad at you. I tried to spear you. You made it look like shit, and I'm gonna slap you now. Like she slapped the shit out of her. Anyway,
she certainly did.
Kevin Scampoli, please break that down in a video later on or something. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna pass the fuck out, and I'm gonna try to fix my tongue that is all fucked up. I have herpes, and it's a mess. Jake, thank you for being here tonight. Sexy
Absolutely.
Beast.
Thank you for having me.
Please keep
Always in one.
Oh, I'll have you all night. Keep an eye on our Twitters, everybody, at Countdown Ended and at Corrupted Pod. You know what I mean? We're going to be tweeting some weird shit tonight, probably. And please check out my Patreon. Check out my fucking Patreon. I need you. If you don't become a patron, I can't do this anymore. Fuck yeah. What the fuck? I'll shout out all the new patrons tomorrow night on the Raw review. And when you become a patron, you get access to 3,000 videos and podcasts you cannot hear on YouTube, you dirty, sexy motherfuckers. And on top of that, Corrupted Podcast is up right now. It's 3 hours long, and we talked about a lot of fucked up shit. And I said some fucked up shit. And yeah, you can go clip some of the things I said out there. Go ahead and clip some of the things I said. Go ahead, motherfucker. But you know what? That show last night was fucking great. And we said what we had to fucking say about who we had to say things about. And on top of that, it was hilarious. And Dummy ain't his own ass, God damn it. So Brad Z, that just became a $1 patron, become a $2 one so you can download it in audio. But whatever. Good shit. Corrupted Podcast 130. It's up right now on Patreon. Check it out. 401 patrons and growing as always. I'm growing down there where my cock is, motherfucker. I'm going to try to find Sean's View, everybody, because we don't know where the fuck that bastard is. Where the fuck are you, Sean's View, huh? Where are you? What are you, pussing out? What do you want to fucking... Sorry, what am I, waking up now? After this whole fucking thing is over? Like, what the fuck is going on, motherfucker? You want to fucking go? You want to fucking do this? Seriously, go check out Corrupted. Here's a little sample of it. Jake, good night, baby. I'll talk to you soon. Sexy Beast.
Stay sexy.
Yow! Lick my ball sack. We'll see you guys later, motherfuckers. Woo!
Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Look, I'm dying.
And what's fucked up is there's like 2 or 3 different angles of that video on YouTube, but if you drop the N-bomb, you're fucked.
Well,
figure that out.
Figure.
Blood.
By the way, this is proof that Drew is a racist, everybody. Listen to this.
But no, I'm just saying it would be cool if nobody died, but just tons of shattered glass and stuff on the like when you want to just like chill.
Oh yeah, you are gonna get proof that Drew's a racist. Listen to this clip. Trust me. I want to play. Will you play with me? Like all day long. Like that's all she wants to do.
Out of the
runs to his room. Brenna wants to run. Yeah.
And it's so while I'm a fucking mess, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude, hug me. He just wants me to give him the iPad.
I am not. It's so hilarious. Like all the glass breaking.
I'm like. Ugh. Like she never fucking stops. It's insanity.
How long do you guys think until there's a shooting at a hockey game?
At a hockey game, I feel like that'd be the last place for a shooting to happen in sports.
But that's why it's so hilarious. Like all the glass breaking everywhere and the bullets going into the ice.
I don't want this to be taken the wrong. I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but it definitely would look cool.
Well, I'll be honest. I was going to take that.
I am not. I'm not on board with that, but it would be.
Just because, like, you see, like
if no one got shot and it was just the glass.
That's what I was going to say. As long as there was no casualties, maybe a couple people got snagged, but not too rough. But like, you just see like glass shattering everywhere, maybe a little bit of blood.
How many is a couple to you?
Well, I mean, just make sure the Bruins goalie gets hit in the head, you know.
Oh, you
a couple thousand?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just enough to maybe raise a banner or two. Sorry, that's fucked up. But no, I'm just saying it would be cool if nobody died, but just tons of shattered glass and stuff on the ice and stuff, and there's just some loser that gets sniped from like the press box in the middle of the ice. It'd look fucking great.
I mean, let's be honest here. Blood does look really cool on ice.
It looked like when fucking Pavelski got bodied by the Knights last year's playoffs.
Yeah.
Or when
goalie.
Malarchuk got his neck slit.
Yeah, I was going to say the Buffalo goalie. That was the one I always think of. It's just pouring out of his neck everywhere.
When he rips his fucking mask off, like, oh, fuck, I'm dying.
And what's fucked up is there's like 2 or 3 different angles of that video on YouTube, but if you drop the N-bomb, you're fucked.
Well,
figure that out.
Figure it out? What do you mean?
What do you mean? I mean, one's an accidental injury, and one of them is like the oppression of an entire race.
Well, I mean, there's
Drew, where are you coming from with this?
Drew, you are a cracker. You might have been like in another life. You whipped people that were brown.
I mean, let's be fair. There's literally, maybe that was a bad example, but there's literally people getting murdered on YouTube.
It was horrendous.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
how come a guy can be in a video blowing up balloons, but you can't use the N-bomb?
You know what I'm mad about? That 16-year-old cunt who's on the cover of a magazine.
Yeah.
Hey, I did call her a cunt last night.
16-year-old thunder cunt.
Myself. JB is the one who came on.
It is weird that a bunch of men are obsessed with this girl.
Call her a thunder cunt on the air. That is inaccurate.
No, you did. What did you call her on a message board or something? What did you say?
You said it like 6 times tonight.
Yeah. I didn't say she was. I was just saying what happened in a meme group.
Right.
I didn't say that I felt that.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. I just saying calling her. I get why they did it. It's weird if they don't know you. Like, for some reason, I don't know why it's less weird when you know the person. Like, oh, yeah.
I don't actually think she is. I just wanted to see a bunch of people get riled up.
Right. But from their point of view, they'll just be like, that's weird.
I don't agree that it's some weird sexual thing.
Well, but
do you think if every time someone got killed at the hockey game, if the sirens went off,
like every time a gore skulled?
TSS went on it.
Did I say a gore skulled?
I don't know what did you
scored?
You are such a mongoloid sometimes.
That was
you know what, motherfucker, coming from you, that's the pot calling the kettle black. So you just shut your fucking tits.
I think everybody on this
I gotta take what I can get.
Everybody here has brain damage, like I feel like.
What do you mean?
I know we're all just messed up. Like I know there's something fucking wrong with everybody here.
I resent that.
I literally just said every time the shooter killed someone, the sirens would go up.
I legit might have brain damage.
They play the fucking goal, the goal horn.
He got another
one. Oh, they're killing
you
another
see the
one.
guy in the fucking, the boardroom. He's like,
wow.
I'm gonna have to add these sound effects into the podcast later. Just everybody remember, it's around the 1 hour mark. But yeah, I do have. Good night, motherfuckers. Check out my Patreon, Podcast World.
Even though your own show is shit. All you dick-riding fucks with your minuscule channels. All your humping Cronin's vids like an army of camels. Sitting comfy as shit. Make your own monetize this. You got 13 subscribers, now you're starting to twitch. You got the same mic and setup, stop riding his dick. You got the same Skype setup, who you trying to kid? Get your own fucking gimmick, intellectual property. You're trying to pass Joe like he's going Monopoly. You won't be making $200, you're getting fucked by the long cock and tennis racket Jones. Come fuck with me, taking your take, and you never give it back. Sitting hitting on the same 6 women in the chat. I'll let you a riding on Cronin's dick.
The Bear 1322, Tony Diesel, Triple M, and Z the Reaper.
Where has your neck been? You look like Earthworm Jim, crossed with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, where are your balls? Where is your beard growth?
Be very afraid.
Oh my God, I don't know. She looked like she was like one.
She had big ass hips.
No, that was before the abortion.
Oh.
Oh my God.